Welcome to the class, students. Today we are going to discuss chapter 1, nutrition in plants. So students, today we are going to discuss about the nutrition of plants. Okay students, let's warm up. Look at the picture of photosynthesis and try to label it. So students, look at this picture. What you have to do? You have to label it. In this picture, there is a process of photosynthesis. Okay, I think you all know about the photosynthesis, because in your previous classes you learned it, you read it briefly. Now, let's know about modes of nutrition, photosynthesis, food making process in plants, other modes of nutrition in plants, insectivorous nutrition. So students, these are the topics we will discuss in our chapter. Let's begin. All living organisms need food to survive. Carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins and minerals are the components of food. These components are necessary for all living beings. All plants and animals require food for their growth and getting energy. The process of utilization of food by an animal to obtain energy for growth and development is known as nutrition. So students, if we are talking about nutrition, so क्या है हमारी कोई एनिमल हो, कोई प्लांट हो, कोई भी हो, उस फूड का यूटिलाइजेशन, जो फूड वो इनटेक करते हैं उसका यूटिलाइजेशन होना उनकी बॉडी में, और उसके बाद उससे जो एनर्जी गेन करते हैं, दैट इज न्यूट्रिशन. Okay students, plants make their food themselves, but animals cannot. Hence, animals depend directly or indirectly on the plants. Now, we are going to discuss modes of nutrition. So students, here we are going to discuss about the modes of nutrition in plants. Okay students, I think you get it. What is nutrition? आपको ये तो समझ आ गया कि nutrition क्या है, nutrition के mode क्या है. दैट देखो स्टूडेंट्स, हर कोई सेम मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन नहीं अडेप्ट कर सकता है. लाइक अगर हम ह्यूमंस की बात करें, कुछ वेजिटेरियन है, कुछ नॉन वेजिटेरियन है, बट न्यूट्रिशन तो हम दोनों को मिलता है ना. सो दैट इज द थिंग कि डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ मोड्स हियर. ओके, द मेथड्स ऑफ ऑब्टेनिंग फूड आर कॉल्ड मोड्स ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन. गेट इट स्टूडेंट्स? नाउ लुक हियर, देयर आर मेनली टू मोड्स ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन: ऑटोट्रॉपिक न्यूट्रिशन, हेटेरोट्रॉपिक न्यूट्रिशन. हियर, autotrophic mode of nutrition. Green plants take carbon dioxide and water from the environment and transform them into glucose and oxygen with the help of sun's energy trapped by a green pigment called chlorophyll. Those organisms which can make food themselves from simple substances by the process of photosynthesis are called autotrophs, and their mode of nutrition is called ऑटोट्रॉपिक न्यूट्रिशन. सो स्टूडेंट्स, ऑटोट्रॉपिक न्यूट्रिशन क्या है? वो प्लांट्स या वो ऑर्गेनिज्म जो अपना फूड खुद प्रिपेयर करते हैं फ्रॉम सिंपल सब्सटेंसेस, दे आर ऑटोट्रॉप्स, और उनका जो मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन है दैट इज ऑटोट्रॉपिक न्यूट्रिशन. लुक हियर, these green plants produce food not only for themselves, they also make food for non-green plants as well as for animals. Look at this picture student. Heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Those organisms which cannot make food themselves by the process of photosynthesis and take food from green plants or animals are called heterotrophs, and their mode of nutrition is called heterotrophic nutrition. So students, वो organism जो अपना खाना खुद नहीं बनाते हैं by the process of photosynthesis, और वो किस पे डिपेंड करते हैं, या तो ग्रीन प्लांट्स पे या फिर एनिमल्स पे, they are heterotrophs and mode of nutrition is heterotrophic nutrition. Photosynthesis. Look here, photosynthesis, food making process in plants. So students, photosynthesis क्या है? Food making process है किसका? Plants का. Green plants are the producers. Which part of a green plant is green? So tell me which part? It's leaves. Usually the leaves. For this reason, leaves are called food factories of a plant. However, other parts of a plant too play a role in its nutrition. Photosynthesis take place in leaves in following steps. So student, here we have the steps of photosynthesis. Look at the first step. The word photosynthesis is derived from two words. Photo means light and synthesis means to combine. Come to the next step. There are tiny pores present mostly on the underside of leaves. These are called stomata, singular stoma. Each stoma is surrounded by two guard cells. Leaves absorb carbon dioxide from air through stomata. The roots absorb water and minerals from the soil. In the next step, the water, minerals and nutrients absorbed by the roots get transported to the leaves by the pipes or tubes which run through the entire plant, forming a vessel system. Come to the next. Chlorophyll is the green pigment present in plants. Chlorophyll captures energy from sunlight and uses it to prepare food from carbon dioxide and water. The process of collection simple substances such as water and minerals from the soil and carbon dioxide from the air, utilizing sunlight as a source of energy, and conversion of these simple substances into glucose is known as photosynthesis. So student, this is the complete process of photosynthesis. So I hope you understand this because these steps are very easy and already you know about the photosynthesis. Now look at the picture which is given to the previous page. That is a schematic diagram showing photosynthesis. Look here, water from the roots, then carbon dioxide, light energy, oxygen, chlorophyll. So these are the components these are the things which we need in the process of photosynthesis. During the process of photosynthesis, light energy is converted into chemical energy. The plant absorbs energy from the sun and use it to convert carbon dioxide and water into glucose and oxygen. Glucose is converted into other complex substances that get stored in the plant. Plants use glucose to obtain energy through the process of respiration. The following equation summarizes photosynthesis. This is the equation of photosynthesis. 6 molecule of carbon dioxide plus 6 molecule of hydrogen plus 6 molecule of water after reaction C6H12O6, that is sugar, or you can say it glucose, plus 6 molecule of oxygen. So this is the complete reaction of photosynthesis. The byproducts of photosynthesis are oxygen and water, which are released through the stomata during daytime. The food is sent to the other parts of the plant through the veins. Without photosynthesis, life would be impossible on the earth. We cannot imagine survival of any living organism in the absence of plants, as they not only provide food but also oxygen, which is necessary for respiration. Look here students, here we have an activity 1. Aim to show sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. So students, in this activity, we show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. Here we have materials required: a potted plant beaker, burner, black paper, alcohol, iodine solution, drop. Here is method. Step 1. Take a healthy potted plant and keep it in a dark room for 2 to 3 days to de-starch the leaves. Come to the step 2. Cover one of its leaves partly with a strip of black paper and put the plant in sunlight for few hours. Come to the next step, plug the covered leaf and remove the black strip. Then next step we have, remove the green colored chlorophyll from the leaf by boiling it first in water. Look at this picture student, here is activity to show that sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. We have sunlight plus carbon dioxide plus water, photosynthesis, glucose, sugar plus oxygen. सो स्टूडेंट्स, आपको क्या करना है, एक प्लांट लेना है, बीकर में रखना है, उसके बाद आपने उस प्लांट को कुछ दिन के लिए अपने घर में अंदर रख देना जहां पे सनलाइट ना हो. तो आप देखोगे कि लीफ क्या हो जाएंगी, डिस्टार्च हो जाएंगी. देन आपने उस प्लांट को बाहर रखना है और एक लीफ को ब्लैक कलर की किसी भी टेप या किसी भी चीज से आप कवर कर देंगे एक पार्ट को. तो उसके बाद क्या होगा, आप उस लीफ को जब चेक करेंगे स्टूडेंट्स, तो वो पार्ट आपको अलग दिखाई देगा. आफ्टर दैट यू हैव टू फॉलो द स्टेप्स. Step 4. Remove the green colored chlorophyll from the leaf by boiling it first in water and then in alcohol. In this way, we get a decolorized leaf. Wash the leaf with water again. Step 5. Add a few drops of iodine over the colorless leaf. Here, we have observation. You observe that the part of leaf covered with black paper does not turn blue-black, while other parts turns the blue-black. Conclusion: the covered part of the leaf could not get sunlight, hence there is no starch in this part. This shows that sunlight is needed for making starch. That means sunlight is necessary for photosynthesis. Students, you can do this activity with your teacher in your school laboratory. Here we have activity 2. Aim to test the presence of starch in a leaf. Now what we do? We test the presence of starch in a leaf. Materials required: green leaf, test tube, ethanol, water beaker, heating lamp, iodine solution and petri dish. Method: pluck a green leaf from a plant kept in sunlight. Boil the leaf in water for a few minutes to soften it. Place the leaf in a test tube of ethanol. Let the test tube stand in a beaker and warm the water till the ethanol begins to boil. The ethanol will dissolve the chlorophyll and dechlorize the leaf. Caution: do not boil the ethanol directly on flame. Now, wash the leaf well with cold water to remove the ethanol. Place it in a petri dish and add a few drops of iodine solution. Here is observation. The color of the leaf changes to blue-black due to the presence of starch. Conclusion: the presence of starch confirms the photosynthesis has taken place. So student, that's how you can test the presence of a starch in the leaf. You can do this activity with the help of your teacher in your school. Look here, here is a picture testing a leaf for starch. Now we have check and mate. You can do it by yourself as we read about these things. Other modes of nutrition in plants. Most of the plants have green pigments called chlorophyll and can make their own food. But some plants which do not have chlorophyll cannot synthesize their own food. Such non-green plants depend on the food produced by other plants. They are known as heterotrophs and the mode of nutrition they use is called heterotrophic nutrition. So students, अब आपने देखा कि ग्रीन प्लांट्स तो अपना खाना खुद बनाते हैं, बट हर एक प्लांट अपना खाना खुद नहीं बना सकते बिकॉज सब में क्लोरोफिल प्रेजेंट नहीं होता है. सो जो प्लांट्स किसी और प्लांट्स पे डिपेंड करते हैं अपने खाने के लिए, दे आर, हम उनको क्या बोलते हैं? हेटेरोट्रॉप्स. और मोड ऑफ न्यूट्रिशन हेटेरोट्रॉपिक न्यूट्रिशन. हियर look here, depending on their mode of nutrition, all the heterotrophic plants are divided into two main groups: parasites, saprophytes. So students, अब heterotrophic nutrition में भी दो टाइप का न्यूट्रिशन है, that is parasites and saprophytes. Look here, we have parasitic nutrition. A parasitic is an organism that lives in or another organism and derives nutrients from it. The organism from which a parasite its nutrient is called the host. So students, in parasitic nutrition, जो प्लांट दूसरे प्लांट से अब खुद को फीड करता है, that is parasite. जिससे वो फीड करता है, that is host. Get it? For example, we have Cuscuta amarbale is rootless plant. It is entangled itself around the host plant and derives food from it. It is often called the devil's hair. So students, आपको एग्जाम्पल दिया गया है अमरबेल का कि वो रूटलेस प्लांट होता है, वो प्लांट्स के चारों तरफ खुद को क्या कर लेता है? इंटेंगल कर लेता है होस्ट प्लांट के चारों तरफ, और उसको हम डेविल्स हेयर भी बोलते हैं. Now we have mistletoe. Mistletoe has green leaves, but its roots penetrate into the bark of the host tree. Get water and minerals required for its process of photosynthesis. So students, ये जो आपको एग्जाम्पल गिवन है, ये क्या करते हैं? ये मिस्टलटोए जो प्लांट है वो क्या करता है कि वो किसी दूसरे प्लांट की बार्क में अपनी रूट को फिक्स करता है और वहां से वो मिनरल वाटर लेता है. ठीक है? डू यू नो we cannot always see parasites, but 75% of the world's creatures belong to this group. Get it, students? Now we have saprotrophic, saprophytic nutrition. The non-green plants which obtain their food or nutrition from dead and decaying organic matter are called saprophytes. So students, saprophytes क्या है? वो नॉन ग्रीन प्लांट्स जो डेड और डिकेइंग मैटर से खुद को फीड कराते हैं. Get it? The mode of nutrition in which the organism Saprotrophs obtain its food from dead and decaying organic matter of plants and animals is called saprotrophic nutrition. So students, इस mode of nutrition को हम क्या बोलते हैं? Saprotrophic nutrition. For example, fungi like moulds, mushrooms, and yeast, and many other kinds of bacteria are saprotrophs. Certain bacteria are also saprophytes. They are called saprophytic bacteria. Get it, students? I hope you understand this because it's very easy. Activity 3. Aim to study the growth of fungi. Materials required: a piece of bread, water, and a box with lid. Students, it's very interesting activity. You can do it at your homes also. Procedure: moisten the bread with water and keep it in the closed box at a warm place for a few days. Observation: you will see whitish green and brown patches on the bread. Observe these under strong magnifying glasses or microscope in the school. Draw the structure of what you see. Conclusion: the patches are formed due to the growth of fungus. So students, you can do it with the help of your teacher. Now we have insectivorous nutrition. These are some green plants which obtain their food partially from the soil and atmosphere and partially from small insects. So students, अगर हम insectivorous nutrition की बात करते हैं तो किन प्लांट्स में होता है? ये कुछ ग्रीन प्लांट्स ही होते हैं जो अपना न्यूट्रिशन या हम फूड की बात करें कहाँ से लेते हैं? कुछ सॉइल से लेते हैं, कुछ एटमॉस्फेयर से लेते हैं, कुछ आपके स्मॉल इंसेक्ट से लेते हैं. गेट इट? Those green plants which supplement their nutrients by trapping and digesting animals, particularly insects, are called insectivores or insectivorous plants. The insectivorous plants have specialized leaves to catch the insects, even though all of them are green and can perform photosynthesis. They rely partially on insects and small animals for their supply of nitrogenous compounds. These insectivores trap insects by various methods, kill them and digest them to obtain nitrogen compounds as amino acids for their growth. So students, अगर हम बात करें कि insectivorous plants अगर आपके जो insectivorous plants हैं वो insects को क्यों खाते हैं, mainly वो क्या करने के लिए खाते हैं? अपनी नाइट्रोजीनियस जो नीड है उसको कंप्लीट करने के लिए. ठीक है, वो उनसे क्या अब्सॉर्ब करते हैं? एमिनो एसिड्स. ओके स्टूडेंट्स, नाउ वी हैव some common examples of insectivores are peacher plant, sundew, Venus flytrap, and bladderwort. A peacher plant uses a peacher-like organ to trap insects and digest them. Here, in peacher plant, the lamina blade of the leaf is modified into a hollow tube called peacher. The top part of the leaf, called leaf apex, form a lid which can open or close the mouth of the peacher. There are hairs inside the peacher which are directed downwards. When an insect falls in the peacher, the lid closes automatically. The trapped insect gets entangled in the hair of the peacher and hence cannot come out. After some time, the insect dies in the peacher. The walls of the peacher secrete digestive juices which digest the protein present in the body of insect to form simpler nitrogenous compounds. Simpler nitrogenous compounds are absorbed by the walls of the peacher and used by the whole peacher plant. So students, यहाँ पे एक प्रोसेस आपको बताया गया है पीचर प्लांट का. पीचर प्लांट में क्या होता है कि उसकी जो लीफ होती है, लुक एट दिस पिक्चर फर्स्ट, दिस इज योर पीचर प्लांट. तो इसमें क्या होता है कि जैसे इंसेक्ट इस पे आता है तो वो क्या करती है, लीफ एकदम क्लोज हो जाती है. ठीक है, इंसेक्ट अंदर चला जाता है, इसके अंदर हेयर लाइक स्ट्रक्चर्स होती है और इंसेक्ट वहां फंस जाता है और थोड़ी देर बाद वो वहां पे डेड हो जाता है. उसके बाद ये उसके प्रोटीन जो प्रेजेंट होती है इंसेक्ट की बॉडी में, उसको क्या करते हैं, कंज्यूम करते हैं और उसे सिंपलर नाइट्रोजीनियस कंपाउंड्स में चेंज करते हैं. हियर अगेन वी हैव चेक एंड मेड, as we already read about these things, so you can do it by yourself. Students, what we learn in this chapter, now we will discuss it in a nutshell. The process of utilization of food by animals to obtain energy for growth and development is known as nutrition. Nutrition is of two types, autotrophic and heterotrophic. Leaves are called the food factories of a plant. Plants produce food in the form of glucose. Heterotrophs are organisms which cannot make their own food and depend on plants for their food requirement. Non-green plants which obtain their food from decaying organic matter are called saprophytes. Parasites are the living organisms which obtain food from other and animals on which they live. Here some keywords. Keywords: autotrophs, organisms that can make their own food from simple non-living substances. Then we have heterotrophs, organisms which cannot make their own food, that means directly or indirectly depend on green plants. Then we have stomata, tiny pores present on the surface of leaves. Then we have chlorophyll, green pigment that is present in the green parts of a plant as on stem, leaves. Then we have saprotrophs, organisms that live on dead plants and animals and derive their food from them. Thank you students. I hope you enjoyed this session and we will meet again with some interesting concepts of science in next chapter.